Hello guys. Hi everybody. Hi. Welcome to my first live on show day. I am super excited for this. My name is Scarlett and I am the CEO and founder of Wonder Curl, and I'm doing a wash and go. And I thought, why not go live? That way, if you guys have any questions about how to do a wash and go, this would be the perfect time. And for today's demonstration, I am using the sealing hair butter. This is going to be my leave-in product. So when you're doing a wash and go, at least when I do a wash and go, I like to layer my products together, which means I'm going to use a leave-in and a styler for my hair. So this sealing hair butter is essentially going to be my leave-in. It is a very thick cream, as you can see here. So it's a very thick cream. Think cake frosting. It has like the consistency of like Duncan Hines, Betty Crocker cake frosting. So it's very thick. So a little bit goes a long way with this product. And that's going to help lock the moisture into your moisture. So it's going to lock the moisture into your hair. And then the styling product I'm going to use is the Curl Enhancing Styler. This is basically going to give the curls your definition. It's going to define your curls. I've already done this side, so I'm going to show you what it looks like with the products in it versus without product. Notice the difference. See the difference. Let me get a little more centered. That way you can totally see. This is my hair without any products in it, and this is my hair with products. Huge difference, right? This side has like the sealing hair butter and the curl enhancing styler. My hair is like nice and juicy already, but you can see here there's a lot of frizz. It's very poofy. That's because there's no clumpage, and that's because there's nothing holding it together. There's nothing binding the hair strands to create a curl. So this is what your products are going to do for you, and I am going to show you how you go from this to this, okay? All right, I'm gonna take this. I always like to clip my hair, this part that's been done, and get it basically out of the way. And then I'm going to now first create one section, right? So I'm going to work from the back and work my way forward. So I'm going to just remove this part, this section out of the way. I'm gonna clip it, and next, like this is too big, like I can't work with all of this, so I am going to now work in a smaller section, right? So starting from the back, I'm gonna clip this out of the way. Oh, let me not lie. Okay, so now that we have the section we're working with, I'm going to grab some water. This is my continuous mist sprayer, and this is just regular tap water. And because my hair is low porosity, meaning my hair has a harder time absorbing water, I am going to get my hair soaking wet as I can stand. Normally I would actually do this in the shower because it's just faster. Okay, so here is like a good amount of water is in it. So I'm going to take my brush and detangle. Okay, now that we have detangled, I'm going to rinse off my arm. And I'm going to take, here we go, the sealing hair butter first. This is, and what I like to do, because with the products, a little goes a long way, and you don't want to use too much product. If you use too much product on your hair will become stiff. If you use too little product, then your hair can become dry. So you want to find the right balance between your water to product ratio. So I always like to work with small amounts and then build on it until my hair feels conditioned to the touch. So we're going to just notice how I'm just using small amounts, small amounts. And now you can start to see how the hair already, it has a little bit of a curl pattern going, a little bit of definition. You see shine, it's a lot softer. This brush is from my website. You can pick it up at wondercurl.com. The link is in the bio. So it is a detangling brush. Okay, so that was the sealing hair butter first. And now I'm going to go in with the Curl Enhancing Styler, formerly known as the Curl Control Styling Lotion. So it's the same product. So we're going to go in next with the Curl Enhancing Styler. And it's similar to the Get Set Hair Jelly. It's just that the formula is slightly different. And now, as you see, I'm just smoothing it on in a downward motion and using my fingers to rake it through, but also just to make sure all of my hair is completely saturated with the product and it's smooth. All right, because my hair is very dense, meaning I have a lot of hair, I like to start from the root all the way to the tip. But if your hair is on the finer side, meaning your strands are smaller, or if your hair isn't as dense and you want to have the illusion of more volume, then you may want to just start from like maybe an inch below. So not all the way at the root, because that way you're going to have a little bit more lift in your hair. So those are just a couple of tips. If your hair is on the medium porosity to high porosity side, you may not need as much water in your hair. So because my hair is low porosity, meaning it takes my hair a longer time to absorb water, I like my hair to be saturated. So your hair, depending on how much water it absorbs, you know, you might want your hair to be wet to damp or soaking wet. Because too much water, your product's going to be diluted. not enough water, your hair is going to be stiff because you use too much products. All right, so we're just gonna keep going section by section. We're just, right? And it's basically we're gonna just repeat the same process throughout. Okay, so next step, all right, okay, hold on, actually. So next we're just going to, once again, wet our hair. Just give me 1 second. Okay. So you can, if you're looking to purchase the brush, I just updated the inventory. So you can head on over back to the website, refresh your page, your browser. All right, so let's go back. Wet, wet, wet. Wet your hair. Again, I am just making sure my hair is soaking wet, but that's because my hair is low porosity. Now here's a tip when you are detangling your hair, to start from the ends and work your way up. And you want to make sure your brush, see how it's going to glide all the way through, because you want to make sure that you are getting all the tangles out. So I always like to go do a few prep passes through my hair on both the top and undersides of my hair, just to make sure we get all of the tangles out. And be gentle with your hair. I've noticed that sometimes we tend to be a little bit rough with our hair. We rush through the process. All right, we are nice and detangled. And I feel like I need a little bit more water. You see how right here is still a little poofy. I'm gonna just go in with a little bit more water. I'm gonna, between my hands, and then working it throughout the section. So what emulsifying it's going to do, because like especially with the sealing hair butter, because it's such a thick product, it's so much thicker than all the others, you want to make sure that you have completely, because if you just slap it on your hair, it's going to be clumpy and it's going to be harder to work it through your hair. That's why you want to put it in one palm, rub it between the palms of your hair, the palms of your hands. Right? Work it through the palms. Now it's complete. And then again, we're just going to work it through. Get the ends, you guys. Let's not neglect the ends of our hair. The ends are the oldest part. And like I can tell, like just feeling the ends of my hair, my ends feel a little dry to me, so I'm gonna take just a smaller amount and apply it just to the ends. And if you want to, you can take your brush and brush your hair one more time. And this is just to ensure that the sealing hair butter has been distributed throughout your hair. And then we're gonna go back in with the curl enhancing styler. I always like to work the products into my palms and then into my hair. It just makes it easier. And this is how I get my hair to have definition, elongation. And what I also do is I'm going to take, this is the section that I started with before, and I just mash it all together. This also makes sure that the products get evenly distributed throughout. And if you want to, you can just, again, and this is why you want to build. I'm just feeling my hair and I'm like, oh, the ends need a little bit more product. So that's what you're doing. So for everyone who is just joining, welcome. Welcome to my live. My name is Scarlett. I am the founder and CEO of Wonder Curl. Wonder Curl. This is the old logo, but I'm like, I'm not going to get rid of a perfectly good shirt. And I am doing a wash and go demonstration using the sealing hair butter and the curl enhancing styler, formerly known as the Curl Control Styling Lotion. So these are the two products that I am using. The sealing hair butter, this is going to lock the moisture into your hair, and the curl enhancing styler is going to define your curls. So these are the two products. I always layer my products. That is how I've always done it. I've tried different methods, I've tested different ways, and I always come back to layering products in sections because it just gives me the results that I like, which are, I like my hair to be, there's a strand of hair like right in front of my eye. So, but I always like my hair to be defined and elongated. So, and do we have any questions? Anyone have any questions for me about wash and goes? Anyone have any questions just in general about hair care? Questions about hair? Because I am also live on TikTok. I'm only going to answer questions about your hair care routine, how to grow healthy hair, if anyone wants to know. If you have a different texture hair than mine and you're like, how do I do it? I don't understand. This is your time. So again, our hair is soaking wet. Get it nice and wet. Detangle from the starting at the ends and working your way up. Okay. All right. And then we're going to take This is a small amount for me. I know for some people this might be more product than they need, the sealing hair butter, but because my hair is, as you can see, it's more on the, it's coarser side, this is actually a small amount. But for someone, this could be like half their hair, so, or half their head. And it's all relative how much product you're going to use. So again, we are just working it. I'm going to take some more, rubbing it through my fingers, putting it on the ends, and working it through. And next, we're going to go in with the Curl Enhancing Styler. This is like, okay. And again, we're just smoothing it, smoothing it. Notice how it's just like nice and, okay, and now I'm gonna again go back into the rest of the hair and just smooth it back together. Now, sometimes after you've applied your products, you might notice like maybe certain parts of your hair, it's still puffy. Like it's not absorbing, it's not getting the right amount of definition. So, or it's not, the curls aren't clumping. Your first inclination might be to add more product to your hair. Before you do that, I recommend taking your spray bottle and just wetting your hair first. Just adding, sometimes the reason why your hair is not absorbing product is because it's not wet enough. So just apply a little bit more water. And that's going to help distribute your products a little bit better. But what your hair is needing when it's light and when it's not absorbing, it needs more water, not more product. And then if you feel like you need to, apply a little bit more product. All right, so we're gonna go and here is, this for me, the crown. This part of my hair is, and for a lot of people I've noticed that this is probably the densest, coarsest, like the part of your hair that has the hardest time. This is like the problem child of your hair. And that is another reason why sectioning your hair is preferred, because you can gauge which parts of your hair like needs more water, what sometimes parts of your hair needs more product. Because again, my hair is mostly low porosity, but there's still some sections of my hair that's medium porosity, and those sections aren't going to need as much water and product. So we're just going to get more water. Brush. You always want to detangle your hair. Always, always detangle, because nothing is worse than styling your hair and it's tangled, because guess what? It's gonna get even more tangled, and then your wash day is gonna be like a disaster. So you want to make sure that you are detangling your hair properly, getting enough water in it. My hair feels good. It's absorbed a lot of water. So I want you to first look at how my hair looks Now that it has water in it, but you can see how like this is the low porosity part of my hair, and you can see even with water it's still not clumping. So that's why, one, using a lot of water, and then two, making sure that you're using products that's going to not sit on your hair, but you want your hair to absorb your products. As usual, and this just feels so good on my hands. Like, oh, it's so creamy, it's so moisturizing. And as I'm feeling my hair, I want you to think about, like, when you're applying your cream, your leave-in in your hair, I want you to think about like when you are conditioning hair, when you've, after you've shampooed your hair and you put conditioner on your hair, notice how your hair feels like really juicy, right? Like it's conditioned, it's soft, it's got like a really great curl pattern. You're like, oh, if only my hair could look like this after it dries. This is what we are recreating with our products. So again, we're going to take some more sealing hair butter, because my hair, to me right now, it's not feeling soft yet. So I'm just going to apply a little bit more because I want to make sure my hair feels conditioned to the touch. And work it through. You notice how I'm constantly massaging my hair. I'm raking it. This is also going to help your hair to absorb what it needs. Okay, so now look at it now. See, it's starting to get a little bit more definition to it, right? A little bit more definition. And then now we're going to take the curl enhancing styler. Same way we use the butter, we're just raking it through our hair. Now look at that, look at that. Now that I'm done with this section, I'm gonna get it out of the way. And plus, again, if you're looking for definition, elongation, and if your hair is like low porosity so it does not absorb, I'm going to now just take this section of my hair, pin it up, and get it out of the way. And this keeps it from getting frizzy. Okay. Last part. This part of my hair tends to be a little bit more porous, so it's medium porosity. So it absorbs product. It gives me a nicer hold, definition. This is like, why can't all of my hair look like this situation, right? I know, like, almost everyone, you have like that one part of hair, you're like, why can't all my hair look like this? Okay. To detangle. Does anybody have any questions for me? Or am I just doing that great a job explaining what I'm doing that no one has any questions? Like, just feel free to type in your questions. emulsify, work it through, work it through. I have done this technique on different hair types and textures. So not just on my hair, but I've done this on people with type 3B, 3C, 4A, 4B, 4C, on different porosities of hair. So this is like a great technique for hair that is really more on the more coily side. So think your 3Cs to 4C hair, and you have a harder time absorbing water into your hair if your hair is thicker, working in sections. So this, and if you want to get more, oh wait, what am I doing? I haven't even put in, I haven't applied the styler yet. I'm like getting ahead of myself. Again, notice how once I apply the styler, get my edges. How defined it gets. Look at that. Look at that. Like this straight piece, eventually it's going to curl up. So I'm going to leave it. Get this section out of the way. And I'm going to put this into 2 sections. Honestly, these clips are like the worst. I really hate them. They're cheap. They break. I'm never buying those again. Oddly enough, the clips that I bought almost 100 years ago for like $1 from my local beauty supply store still last me forever. So going back to what I know, after these break off, I'm just not doing it again. And water, water, water. Water is your friend. But not too much water. When our hair is wet, it swells. All right, so my hair feels good and wet. Just get this out of the way. Now, again, this is going in first with the sealing hair butter. And honestly, you guys, like doing wash and goes once a week, this is one of the reasons why my hair has grown so long. I have been able to retain length, and that's because 1, I am shampooing my hair weekly, and 2, I'm using products. These are products that keep your hair hydrated. Hydration is so important for our hair to retain its elasticity. Think about like a rubber band, right? When you stretch a rubber band and then it snaps back into place. Our hair is the same, where we stretch it, but if it snaps immediately, that means your hair is brittle. It has no moisture, no hydration in it. So you want to maintain the elasticity in your hair through hydration. But let's not confuse hydration with moisture, okay? Because sometimes we think keeping our hair wet is hydration. That's not hydration. You want to get your hair wet, you want to shampoo it, you want to let your hair absorb the water so that it can, that's how your hair gets hydrated, is when it absorbs the water. But you don't want to leave your hair wet for too long, because that's going to break down the bonds in your hair. Okay, last section of our hair. Anybody, Bueller, any questions so far before I finish up the last part? So I'm going to take this time to talk a little bit about the products. We're going to talk a little bit about why you want to use these particular products in your hair, why I love them. And for anyone who's just joining, welcome to my live. I am Scarlett. I am the founder and CEO of Wonder Curl. Every product that I'm using you can find on the website over on wondercurl.com, or you can hit the link in bio if you are on TikTok. If you are watching from the website, you should be able to just grab the products right there on the page. All right, so first, the tangling brush. This is also a product you can find on the website. Why do I love these types of detangling brushes? One, they're kind of like 6 or 7 little combs, but they are flexible. Okay, check that out. They're flexible. You can take this part out if you want to. I prefer it with it. It just controls a little bit, but I'm going to show it to you. Let me take this off so you can see the difference. So this is, it comes like this. And then it has a little bit more flex to it. So you can decide which works best for you. I prefer it with the clip in there, but that's without it. So this is on the website for purchase. This is the continuous mist spray bottle. Why do I love whoever invented the continuous mist spray is like a genius, because look at this. And the water droplets are a lot more fine than with a regular trigger spray, but look, you get like it's more of an even distribution. Okay. So next up, sealing hair butter. This, you guys, this is very thick, creamy, emollient-rich product. Sealing hair butter has a lot of castor oil, shea butter, aloe vera, but it also has more like fatty acids. So these are ingredients that's going to lock the moisture in to keep your hair hydrated. That is the purpose of your leave-ins, your creams, your moisturizers. The moisturizing, there to lock the moisture in. So I want to show you, all right, actually it's hard to tell, but you can see it is spongy. It's very thick, and it has the consistency, I say, of like cake frosting. And if your hair has a harder time locking in moisture, you want thicker products, creamier products. If your hair is, say you dyed your hair blonde You've noticed that your hair gets dry a lot faster. That's because your hair isn't holding moisture. You want products that's more moisturizing. And that is the sealing hair butter. So I'm going to apply it directly on my hair, and you can see I've emulsified it. But I'm going to show you what it looks like if I just, right, you see how thick it is and how much harder it is to work it in. So that's why you want to emulsify it in your hands first. But this feels so good. I love the way this feels. Okay, so this is now my hair. I can feel it. My hair is conditioned. It's softer. You can see that it's already starting to have definition. This is a clump. You want your curls to clump. Okay? That's what you're going for when you're applying your products for a wash and go. You want to use your hands and work it in your hair, massage it into the strands. And then I took the top off because this batch is really thick. It's not normally this thick. This is what the curl enhancing styler. So again, we are smoothing it, and look at that. Look at how this is kind of like the glue that gets your curls nice and defined. So notice how I'm smoothing my hair down. But look at that. Look. Like, this makes me so happy when I see this. Like, some people don't like a cast. I like a cast on my hair because it's just telling me that my gel is doing what it do. It is doing what it is supposed to do. Okay, so we are done. Oh my God. It actually wasn't as long as I thought. So let's take the bottom part out. I'm going to take this section out, and then we're going to take the first section I worked on, and I want you to now see this is the hair all nice and defined. And now what I do again, and this is if you want elongation. So if you have shrinkage, so you're like, every time I dry my hair, my curls just shrivel up. They just go away. What happened to my curls? This is what I like to do with my hair. One, I always sit under a hooded hair dryer. Hooded hair dryers are key to a successful wash day, a successful wash and go, especially if your hair is on the coily to kinky side. Invest in a hooded hair dryer, and you can get one from $40 to $400. So whatever your budget allows is what you should get, and whatever you have the space for, because they can be a bit clunky. Next is and the other reason why like a hooded hair dryer is preferred, it gives you a gentle ambient heat to dry your hair. So your hair is going to dry faster, but it's also going to stay smoother, so it feels softer and less frizz versus air drying. Air drying is damaging for your hair. I know a lot of people don't like to hear that. They're like, wow, what did our ancestors do? Well, you know what? Our ancestors probably had high growth fatigue. They probably over moisturized their hair, but you know what? They had bigger things to worry about. So get a hooded hair dryer. If you can't, put a diffuser on your blow dryer. I use both. So I will sit under a hooded hair dryer until my hair is as dry as it can get, and then I will spot dry with my diffuser. Okay, so let's go back. I'm going to show you, I'm going to take my hair And this is if your hair, you have a harder time, like if you have shrinkage, if you want your curls to be elongated. I take this, now that I've smoothed my hair again, I'm always smoothing my hair down. And I'm just going to roll it like so. I'm going to clip it. And I'm going to sit under the dryer with my hair like this for like 20-30 minutes. So while I'm under the dryer, my hair is like this. What this is doing is that the heat in here, curly, the way it dries is how it's going to stay. So if I dry my hair like this for 30 minutes, it's going to stretch it out a little bit. It's not going to stretch it in a damaging way, because then my hair, once I wet my hair, it's going to revert right back. So this is why I sit under a hooded dryer and I dry my hair like this for a little bit, for like 20-30 minutes. And really how long you sit under the dryer is going to depend on the density of your hair, how much hair you have. So clearly the thicker your hair is, the denser your hair is, the longer it's going to take to dry. Versus if your hair is fine or low density, it might take your hair like 30 minutes to dry. So you might have to do this for only like 10 minutes. My hair, as you can see, my hair is very thick, it's very dense, it's very long, so it takes me more time. All right, guys, so I am done with today's wash and go demonstration. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got a lot out of it. If you have any questions, feel free to message me, DM me, hit me up on my Instagram. It's at WonderCurl. Go to wondercurl.com, grab the products. You will not regret it. If you are looking for products that's going to keep your hair hydrated and defined, you want something that's going to last for several days without having to re-wet your hair, these are the products for you. And I'm going to once again show you the products that I used. I used the Sealing Hair Butter and the Curl Enhancing Styler.